Are you feeling like your marriage is on the verge of falling apart? What if I told you there's still hope, even if you're on the brink of divorce? Hi, I'm Michael Flynn, and welcome to Relationship Reset Academy. With over 10 years of experience as a relationship counselor, I've helped countless couples get back on track when they thought it was too late. In today's video, I'm going to share the exact steps you need to take if your marriage is hanging by a thread. No fluff, just real strategies that can make all the difference. By the end of this video, you'll know how to turn your relationship around and prevent a divorce, even if things feel impossible right now. Before we jump in, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you never miss a trick in saving your marriage. Now let's jump into the steps that could make all the difference in saving your marriage. Step 1. Hit pause on the arguments. When you're in the midst of a fight, everything feels so intense, doesn't it? Emotions are running high, and no one is really listening, just reacting. If you're finding yourself stuck in a pattern of constant conflict, here's the first thing you need to do: hit pause. I know, it sounds counterintuitive. It feels like you're ignoring the problem, but in reality, you're doing the exact opposite. You're giving both you and your partner the space to think rather than just react. Every time an argument starts, there's this rush to prove your point, to win the conversation. But in reality, what does winning even mean when the foundation of your relationship is crumbling? The goal isn't to win. The goal is to rebuild that connection and find common ground. Taking a break isn't about avoiding the issue, it's about slowing down enough to approach the problem with a clear head. When tempers flare, it's hard to listen or understand each other's perspective. And let's be honest, when both of you are just firing off emotional shots, the situation only gets worse. So here's what you do: agree to take a break from the argument, no matter how urgent it feels. It's as simple as saying, "I need a moment. Let's talk again in 15 minutes, or when we're both ready to have a calm conversation." You'll be surprised how just a few minutes of space can reset everything. During that break, avoid venting to a friend or rehashing the same issues over and over in your mind. Instead, focus on calming down. Go for a walk, breathe deeply, or even listen to calming music. When you come back to the conversation, you'll be able to engage from a place of respect, not resentment. This pause creates room for reflection, and that leads to deeper understanding. You're not just diffusing the situation, you're giving both of you the opportunity to hear each other's hearts. And when you're ready to resume, approach it with curiosity instead of confrontation. Ask open-ended questions like, "Can you help me understand what you're feeling right now?" This invites empathy into the conversation, which is a game changer when rebuilding your relationship. So, next time the tension rises, don't jump straight into battle mode. Hit pause. Breathe. Reset. You'll be amazed at how much more productive the conversation will be once you both come back to the table with a calmer, clearer mind. Step 2. Reflect on what's really going on. When your marriage is on the brink, it's easy to get stuck in blaming each other. You might feel like your partner is the problem, or they might feel like you're the one causing all the issues. But let me tell you something: blaming is a dead end. It doesn't fix anything. Instead, try asking yourself, what's really going on here? I get it, it's easy to focus on the surface issues, the missed anniversaries, the late nights at work, or the constant miscommunications. But here's the thing: those surface issues are rarely the real problem. They're symptoms of something deeper. Think about it. You didn't just wake up one morning and decide to stop caring about your spouse. Somewhere along the way, things changed. Maybe it was a slow build of unmet needs. Maybe it was an emotional gap that formed when life got busy. Whatever the case, it's time to stop and reflect. Take a moment to consider the bigger picture. Ask yourself, what's been missing in my relationship? Maybe you feel like your partner doesn't appreciate you or that your needs for affection aren't being met. Maybe your partner feels the same way. It could be a communication breakdown, a lack of intimacy, or even just drifting apart over time. But the key is to identify what you need and what your partner needs. One of the most common issues I see in marriages that are on the brink of divorce is a lack of understanding. We get so caught up in our own frustrations that we forget to take a step back and try to understand what our spouse is going through. They're not your enemy. They're your partner. Reflecting on this can be challenging, but it's necessary. Sit down with a pen and paper and write down your thoughts. Ask yourself, what do I need from this relationship to feel happy and fulfilled? What is my partner craving, and how can I meet those needs? If you're unsure of where to start, a great place to begin is romancedictionary.com/marriage. It's a resource that can give you insights into what's going wrong and how to course correct. Trust me, it's worth the deep dive. The link is in the pop-up here and in the description below. Step 3. Show small acts of kindness. Sometimes, when your marriage is in trouble, you forget the simple things that brought you together in the first place. The constant rush of daily life, the stress of work, and all the responsibilities can make it easy to forget to show your spouse that you care. But small acts of kindness can have a profound impact on a relationship. It doesn't have to be grand gestures or expensive gifts. It's the little things that count. Do you remember the last time you left a sweet note for your spouse? Or maybe you surprised them with their favorite snack or made time to watch their favorite show together? These small, intentional acts of love can go a long way in showing your partner that you're thinking of them. Let's face it, when things are rocky, it's easy to fall into a pattern of emotional distance. You might not feel like being affectionate, and they might not either. But here's the truth, showing kindness even when you don't feel like it is one of the most powerful ways to rebuild intimacy and trust. The goal isn't to fix everything in one day. But little by little, these acts of love can chip away at the walls you've built between each other. Maybe it's simply sending a text saying, "I appreciate everything you do for our family." Maybe it's making dinner together after a long day. And here's the kicker, don't just do it to fix things. Do it because you want to. Showing kindness shouldn't feel like a chore. It should feel like a way to reconnect with your partner, to remind them that you care even when things are tough. These small acts create a foundation of trust and affection that can be rebuilt over time. Step 4. Focus on listening, not fixing. Let me be honest with you, when your spouse opens up about their feelings, it's so tempting to jump in with solutions. You want to help. You want to fix it. But the truth is, sometimes what your partner needs most is not a solution, it's someone who truly listens. Most people don't realize how powerful active listening is. When you listen without interrupting, without trying to fix, you're sending a message that says, "I value what you're feeling. I care about your emotions." Here's a simple exercise. The next time your partner opens up to you, try this. Just listen. Put your own thoughts and solutions aside for a moment. Focus entirely on what they're saying. Let them talk. Nod. Make eye contact. And when they're done, reflect back what you've heard. For example, you could say, "I hear you're feeling overwhelmed with work and that you feel like I haven't been as present lately." This shows them that you're paying attention, that you understand their emotions. When people feel heard, they feel valued. And when you take the time to listen, you create a space where they're more likely to open up again in the future. It's a small but mighty way to rebuild connection. Remember, you're not trying to fix everything in one conversation. Just listen. That's the first step toward healing. Step 5. Reignite your emotional connection. Now, let's talk about one of the most important aspects of any marriage, the emotional connection. If your marriage feels distant right now, it's not because the love isn't there, it's because that emotional connection has been neglected. But here's the good news. It's never too late to bring that connection back to life. First off, stop believing the lie that love should always be effortless. Sure, when you first met, everything was new and exciting. But love isn't just about those initial sparks, it's about sustaining a deep, emotional bond through thick and thin. To reignite that connection, you've got to start by making intentional time for each other. I'm talking about quality time where both of you can just be with each other. Not time spent with distractions like phones, TV, or work. Time where you can genuinely connect. Think back to when you first started dating. What did you do that made you feel close? Was it sharing a cup of coffee? Taking walks together? Watching a movie? Whatever it was, start doing that again. It doesn't have to be fancy. In fact, some of the most meaningful moments come from simple, low-key activities. Another great way to reignite that emotional bond is to share something personal. Be vulnerable with each other. I know, it's hard to open up when you've been hurt, but vulnerability creates intimacy. When you let your guard down and share your thoughts, fears, and hopes, you create space for your partner to do the same. That's when true connection happens. If you want more tips on how to create a solid, lasting marriage, check out romancedictionary.com/marriage. It's a fantastic resource for couples who are serious about turning things around. The link is in the pop-up here and in the description below. Listen, I know it feels tough right now, but don't lose hope. It's possible to save a marriage on the brink of divorce. It won't happen overnight, but with small steps, you can reset your relationship and rebuild that connection. If you found this video helpful, make sure to hit subscribe and ring that notification bell. Drop a comment below to share your thoughts or any questions you might have. I'm here for you, and I want to hear your story. Check out the links in the description for more resources to help you along the way. And remember, no matter where you are in your relationship, there's always hope. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.